This, however, is only around the IGA for the Jackson Street improvements for transit operations in downtown Milwaukee. Urge your approval.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Question. Your last comment, are you saying then the park and ride at Southgate would only be a temporary?
Dan, I want to make sure we made that final decision. That's our expectation, that we would have it no longer be necessary because of where the stations will be located. And from the Milwaukee standpoint, very frankly, they want to intercept cars before they go through downtown Milwaukee, and therefore the park and ride that's being talked about at Park Avenue on McLaughlin is a very important element. They'd rather not have one a little bit further north that might, in fact, encourage people to drive through downtown Milwaukee to merely get to a further north park and ride.
Okay, so then we would not actually construct a raised parking facility there.
This will be surface only. It does, in fact, deal with the paving and various other elements and stormwater management, among others.
Right, and we own that property, as I recall.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Releasing something. Something.
It's the old Southgate Theater.
We're leasing that, am I correct?
And we own
No, we own that.
We own that part? Yeah. Oh, I can't remember.
Okay, so we got a motion, a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Resolution 090327, authorizing IGA with Metro. Mr. General Manager.
Thank you. Very similar to the work that we were just discussing on the relationship with the City of Portland. This is for a slightly different purpose, but the same kind of intergovernmental agreement. This is for public information environmental analysis related to the draft environmental impact statement for the Lake Oswego to Portland Transit Corridor. By being able to enter into this agreement, we are able to, again, make more efficient use of combined different services, in this case, from Metro. We urge your approval.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Just one quick. Is this dealing with, not light rail, but is this trail going from, that we use now for streetcar, or is this the surface street?
This is, the alignment is the actual Willamette Shore trolley alignment.
Okay.
It's used now only for tourist purposes, but it's always been conceived as a possible transit. It probably would be streetcar because it's a logical extension from the South Waterfront.
And we are one of the owners of that, right?
Yes.
All right. Where am I? Did we have the motion?
Oh,
second?
yes.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Resolution 090328, authorizing modification to the contract for development planning services. Mr. General Manager.
Thank you. This is one of those, again, places that we are, just as we were talking about the Lake Oswego, Portland-Lake Oswego alignment, there is additional work that we need to be able to have done. We were asking for authorization to be able to modify the on-call contract with Shields Oblitz Johnson to be able to provide really the transit-oriented development side of this, of the consulting services all on this alignment. At this stage, as we're marching through, again, at a very preliminary stage, we think that does make a very important contribution to this. We would expect that this work will go forward. We ask for the modification to this contract to allow that technical assistance from the Shields Johnson Oblitz. Shields Oblitz Johnson.
Second. We got a motion. We have a second. Second. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 090329, authorizing a contract for project management for Lake Oswego. Mr. General Manager.
Thank you, Mr. President, board members. Again, with the same firm, what we're doing, though, this is a different type of service instead of the transit-oriented development, which was the previous one. This is actually, this is actually for the project management services for the same project. I do want to be able to stress that this does raise that contract to $375,000, but this is going to be paid for by our project sponsor. I mean, we kind of become the place that gets focused through. There is no net cost to Trimet as a part of this. This is really providing that contracting service, and our other partner agencies are in fact putting the bill. But again, what it does is it allows for that coordination that's so important we were here supporting.
So moved.
Second, discussion. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Before we hear the last resolution or deal with the last resolution, let me make a comment. We have a number of people who have asked to address us on various issues here this morning. First of all, we are not required to take your testimony on these issues. We choose to. And for that reason, of the individuals who have asked to speak to us today, one of them relates to a resolution. The other three relate to other issues. So I'm going to ask, before we take action on the resolution, that we hear this individual who has requested to address us. So would Mr. Simon please come forward? Good morning. In each case, if you would have the courtesy to try to limit your comments to 3 minutes, I would appreciate that.
My name is Robert Simon. I represent the Feltons, and regarding the Milliken Park and Ride, I've prepared written comments that have been distributed to you, and what I'd like you to do is give us 30 more days before adopting this resolution to condemn the Milliken Park and Ride and take it away from the Feltons. I've visited with you before involving the Zontarmas family and New Copper Penny and the Lentz district. I was able to bring the Zontarmases to a position that was consistent with Trimet's on value, given the time. That took time, but I was able to meet all of Trimet's requirements through peaceful, non-confrontational methods, including the mediation of Jake Tanzer. I need 30 more days in order to help Trimet have a peaceful resolution of its issues with the Feltons regarding the Milliken Park and Ride. We've had 2 very extensive mediations in the last 2 months. The Feltons have provided extensive briefing materials. We've done full disclosure of our appraisals, our appraisal updates, our expert witness reports. So I have held back nothing in this process in order to facilitate a peaceful resolution. But we have a political problem. Trimet's initial 40-day letter was at a number that was substantially lower than what needs to be paid in order to make it happen. The Feltons have an appraisal from PGP at $4.1 million. You rely on PGP for your own work. So there's this gulf that we're trying to bridge. In our last mediation, Trimet came to us and said, let's do an arbitration with a high of $3.5 million. And if somebody else tells us we have to pay $5 million, we'll go to the board with that number and recommend approval. In that mediation, the Feltons came to 3.5 and said, just pay us $3.5 million and we'll take that number and not go through the litigation. We all know what that costs. And in the recent experience of the board with Moderna, I assume that you know all too well that juries are fickle on values. So 30 more days and a direction from this board to the staff, encouraging them to come back to you with their recommendation and not to be fearful of coming back at $3.5 million. Because that's the number that I've gotten them to agree to. And that's $600,000 off the appraisal from PGP. I bring to your attention one item I raised in my written testimony to you, and only this one item. Just like in the Lentz situation with New Copper Penny, we're talking about economic units and how the New Copper Penny's property created viable economic energy in the Lentz district's redesign and redevelopment and the 205 light rail. Similarly, the Milliken Park and Ride is part of 1 million square feet of Felton-controlled property in the Beaverton Transit Center area. It includes the Murray Business Center. It includes